Hello. Good morning. I mean, it's not morning here, but I guess for someone it's good morning. Good morning, Buffalo. 10:30 a.m. Good morning, Clint. GZH. Good morning. How you guys doing? Who did I miss? Panda Man. How you doing, man? How is everybody today? A bit of an earlier stream today, so I'm gonna blast on and do some more painting on the ballista threads I've been working on. I had to think for a minute, like, what the hell is this thing that I'm even working on? It's a ballista thread. Start by throwing paint across the room. Hello Mark, hello Sindri, how is everybody? Those Krieg models last night looked pretty cool. I don't know if you guys caught the new Krieg models. The preview that GW had on last night, I thought they looked pretty dope. Don't know if I need to collect Imperial Guard army, but I felt like I was very impressed with them. Afternoon, Michael. How you doing? So I tried to use contrast paint on this guy before, on this this decapitated head of a Lord of Change, and it wasn't enough. So I'm gonna brighten up and then do another coat of contrast paint. I guess I didn't make it nearly white enough, so we're trying to go like really heavy on the white, and then we'll do another coat of contrast over the top. I don't have much experience using contrast paint, so the zenithal highlight that I did on this was nowhere near high enough. Like, this is way more high. I was gonna say this is way brighter than it was before, so we'll see. We'll see. Second time's a charm, maybe. Might even bring it up a little bit more. Might be okay. Alright, it is an early start, yeah. My kids are with my mum for a little while, so I figured I actually have some free time, which is nice. Don't usually get free time in the Saturday afternoon, so the football has just kicked off as well, because the football kicks off at 3:30, so I chose to come and paint and hang out with you guys and to watch football, so must be serious. I need to get these ballistic dreadnoughts ready. I used them this week. I don't know if I played the game particularly well this week, so first time playing a new list, and I think the next list I'm going to play is going to go to Double Impulsor. I'm not the hugest fan of Death Company with the loss of all their weapon options, so I think I'm going to be running Blade Guard, Company Heroes, 5 Death Company, and drop all the way down to 5 in the Sanguinary Guard. So I think I'm stepping away from running 10 Death Company. I think I've run 10 or 15 Death Company probably for the last 18 months or something. So sometimes it's nice to get a change. Maybe it's a little bit of a forced change. Arathian, how you doing anyway? The weather is rubbish. That's why I like to watch. I like to watch I like to go to the football, like the football stadiums, soccer stadiums here in the UK. I like to do that in the summer, but I don't like to go to watch soccer in like November and December. I mean, I'd much rather just sit at home and watch it in the warmth of my own house. I mean, I still like watching it, just everybody else can freeze and I'll be in a nice warm house. I'll watch the highlights later. Good evening, Spike, how you doing? Any thoughts on what the Advent Calendar detachment might be for Blood Angels? What the hell is the Advent Calendar detachment? Mon Aberdeen. Aberdeen are doing very well this season. Who are they playing today? It would be nice if a Scottish team could finally split the Old Firm, wouldn't it? I've got lots of Who's playing? Arsenal are playing Nottingham Forest, Dundee United are playing Rangers. That's my two teams, one in Scotland, one in England. Do you have any thoughts on shading for BA Red? What do you mean for shading? Explain yourself. What are you trying to achieve, Sindri? GW are doing an advent calendar for December with a detachment for each faction each day. Oh, that's news to me. Advent calendar detachment. Oh, cool. That's content I can make. So Blood Angels are going to get a new detachment. Was this mentioned in the live stream last night? I only caught the highlights of the live stream last night on Twitter. I didn't actually watch the stream myself.
616_minis donated $9.99 via Super Chat. Good morning, John. That Ballistus is looking sexy. Running a double Ballistus list and it is running beautifully.
616 Minis, thank you so much. 616 Minis is actually the guy that did that new intro panel for me, where we've got the Blood Angels guy that comes up over the screen, this guy. This was done by 616 Minis. Dude, thanks so much for the 10. I do really appreciate it. Let me make the opacity a little bit less so you can see it clearer. Yeah, thanks so much for the 10, dude. That's very much appreciated. I hope you're getting on well with the family and all that. I know you just had your kid. Congrats, by the way. Having your first kid is definitely a baptism of fire. Stay strong. You got this. It was the biggest announcement for the live stream. Okay, well, I'm. Do you know what? I just looked at the pictures. So thanks for tuning me up. I just looked at the pictures, honestly. Like, I looked at the pictures of the new Krieg and was like, oh my god, these Krieg look amazing. The ones with the... Is it like a general and a horse or something? I thought they looked awesome. I really did. I was like, I really like the Krieg. I don't know what it is, if it's just like their gas masks or their rustic feel or something. I don't know. Every time I play against them, they're a nightmare to destroy as well. Everybody's got a 5-up feel no pain. They're just a disaster. But no, I just love the look of the Krieg. Ever since they announced that kill team, I love the look of them, and I was like, I don't know if I can... I got too many Blood Angels to play, to paint and play. But I did see the pictures of the new Krieg, because there's like, I think there's engineers, and there's like a squad on horseback, and there's like a commander on horseback. Marius, good afternoon. Congrats on 50 subscribers, Marius. I noticed that you got that yesterday. Well done, dude. I know I was supposed to do something for you this week, dude. I don't know where time went this week. I will do it. I promise you I'll do it. I just haven't got around to it. Kids, family, YouTube videos, time just disappeared on me this week. Question, who prefers the WTC format with its windowless ruins that completely block shooting compared to the standard GW layouts? I always end up playing on the windowless ruins. We play windowless on the ground floor. And it does block a lot of shooting. I think it helps to balance the game in some ways, but in some ways it also does... I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like, blocked ground floor windows is good for like melee armies like Blood Angels that need to be able to like toughness 4 Marines generally just die if you can be seen, so you do need some windowless ruins. And a lot of the tournaments in the UK, at least the ones I go to, generally play downstairs windows are blocked. Even if they got windows on the scenery, the ground floor is generally blocked. Like it's a double-edged sword. I played the GW terrain a couple of times. I think it's fine. But I guess up until recently, GW weren't doing their own terrain, right? It was like up to the tournament organizers kind of to do their own thing. And I guess after years of playing the game, the tournament organizers are kind of stuck in their they're stuck in their habits, or they've got their own habits, or they've got their own ideas. So yeah, I just generally play what cup, you know, like whatever tournament I'm going to, I'm quite happy to play whatever they've got. I do think downstairs windows blocked does help Blood Angels quite a lot. I prefer bottom windows closed. But playing casual means there's still benefit to moving to the upper floors. Do you know what? That's a good point, yeah. I mean, I guess bottom windows closed does mean that if you've got snipers or something, or a unit that can get up high and get some elevation. Not many people remember that plunging fire is a thing in 10th edition, which means if you're 6 inches above the table, you get an extra 1 point of AP, right? But it doesn't come up all that often. But sometimes you can. Some of the terrain we play on is high enough where you can get the plunging fire. And when you remember about it, because it doesn't come up very often, I think it is a meaningful rule. I kind of like the plunging fire rule. Just doesn't often come up, and people forget it's even a thing. But it is a thing, and you can use it to your advantage. My latest video was a bit weak, the old imposter syndrome kicking in hard. No, I'm not going to be streaming tonight. My kids are away at my mum's tonight for their birthday. So I have a child-free evening, which never happens. So I promised the wife that I would be free tonight, so I'm streaming this afternoon. So yeah, Armulus show will be tomorrow night as normal. Sometimes the nice thing about streaming at a different time zone is that I see people that normally don't make the live streams. So I suppose we have our very core audience that always hang out every Saturday night, but sometimes we see new people on different time slots. Especially like, I guess the time difference, there's like a 12-hour time difference or something with like Australia. So quite often on my streams, I guess we don't see anyone from Australia, because I guess if I stream at 8 PM, it's like 8 AM. Not many people are up watching YouTube at 8 AM. Surprisingly, I am watching YouTube at 8 AM because I try and do exercise first thing in the morning, and I usually watch YouTube while I'm on my cross trainer. Thanks, man. I will. I mean, I don't know what me and my wife are even going to do. We don't hang out that often. We'll find a movie on Netflix or some crap that we haven't watched. I think we watched the first of that Rebel Moon movies, but we never got around to the second one. So maybe that's what we'll hit up. I've painted a bunch of these Redemptor Dreadnoughts before, and I forget how I painted them, so I'm just winging it at the moment. I'd like them to kind of match, but if it doesn't match 100%, I don't suppose it matters. I feel a little bit sad that the Redemptor Dreadnoughts are just so expensive. You know, they kind of changed the enhancement for Ironstorm that was making them so good. Because it used to be like an aura-based enhancement, and now you pick a single model, right? So they changed the enhancement for Ironstorm, I think, that was making Redemptor Dreadnought so good. So I don't know why they're still 210 points. I think 210 points for Redemptor Dreadnought is batshit crazy. I guess there's a tax on -1 damage, but like, holy crap, it's a big tax. Like, I think it's way too high. I mean, -1 damage is good, but when you're trying to kill a Dreadnought, you're usually hitting it with like weapons that do a lot more than a few damage, right? So -1 is I feel like it's like, if I'm trying to kill a Dreadnought, I'm going to hit it with like las cannons and stuff. So -1 damage changes it from like d6 plus 1 to just d6. So I don't know if it feels that meaningful, or meaningful enough. Yeah, Miles says it's a huge -1 damage. Do you know, right at the start of 10th edition, Miles, I had a Redemptor Dreadnought on the table, and you used the spear from your knight and just did 12 devastating wounds to it with one weapon, with one shot. And I don't think I've fielded the Redemptor again since that. I don't think it was good anyway, but like, I think that just proves that it's like, oh cool, -1 damage to the 12 devastating wounds that it just took. Yeah, the harpoon. Yeah, that was brutal. 210 points to get harpoon down to 1 wound. Ouch. And I didn't even get to roll a save. I think that was the thing that annoyed... I think that was why I dropped it out of my list. Like, losing 12 wounds and don't even get to roll a save. I'm like, screw this thing. What's the AP on the harpoon? It's AP 5, right? Or is it... Like, if you hadn't got the dev shot, what would have the AP been? I think it's still crazy high AP. Missed the stream last week. I had some catch up with my mates in London for some hobbying. One guy won 4 games to 0 with a 1k orc list. I mixed up by failing charges and got shot on counter charge. Yeah, I mean, failing charges is rough. I guess when you play Blood Angels enough, you should start to get into the habit of like never putting your units in situations where you can potentially fail charges, right? Like, I mean, it can happen, like, everybody fails the odd charge, but, like, I feel like, for the most time, like, if you're ever trying to make, like, a 9-inch charge, you're already in, like, a really shit situation, I feel like. Like, you should never be trying to make charges more than, like, even, like, 6, maybe. Like, 8-inch charges are just wholly unreliable as well, I guess. The harpoon is AP 6. Remember though, this edition is less killy. I don't know why the hell they said that. I was gonna say, this edition is less killy, but Death Shroud Terminators get to kill an entire unit of Marines every single time they fire their flamers. Almost guaranteed. It's less killy. I'm just bitter about those. Those Death Shroud are just so difficult to deal with. Death Guard are my damn nemesis. Would Redemptor be more playable at 180 or I mean, it would be. I think the problem is that Games Workshop try and make all the Space Marine models have the same points cost regardless of what detachment you're in. And I think that's probably the whole problem, right? Like, because some models get lots of, like, Assault Intercessors for Blood Angels are kind of awesome. For other armies, they're kind of average, right? Like, I don't think Strength 4 EP1 Chainswords are all that strong, but Strength 6 is way more meaningful. So it's like, I think that, maybe in the future we'll return to a place where different factions of Space Marines have different costs for the same units. Because what inevitably happens is one faction does really well with them. Look at like Centurion Devastators. Vanguard are very, very... I think it's called Vanguard Spearhead. I've actually never played Vanguard Spearhead. But they were insanely good with Centurion Devastators. The reason they're insanely good is because the Centurion Devastators are actually one of the best units for range damage output for Marines. And there's a stratagem in that detachment that lets them get an extra point of AP. So they basically have like 2 twin-linked las cannons, I think. Or no, it's 3 twin-linked las cannons with AP 4. And then they get baked in rerolls to hit. And you can't return fire against the Centurions because you deploy them 12 inches away and you pick them up and you put them back down every single turn. So you've basically got like all these twin-linked las cannons that can never be shot at by your opponent, can never shoot at them, they can never engage on them. So they were like crazy good in Vanguard. And so Centurion Devastators go up, but the point is that like Centurion Devastators are not that good for... I mean, they're fine for Blood Angels, but I wouldn't say they're amazing. You know, so like, Aggressors is another unit that's been suffered for that. Like, if you think of Aggressors, the Flamer version. The Flamer version of Aggressors is not that good. They would probably be good enough at the old points cost. But everybody was running them in Gladius as bolters. With the bursting, whatever it was, sustained on 5s, bursting, yada yada yada. There was like 4 buffs you could play on them in Gladius and just make them batshit crazy. So I think Aggressors went from I think it was 100 for 3, and they went up to 120 for free. So the Flamer versions basically went up 20% in points, and they weren't even strong anyway, they were like kind of average. So they just went up 20%. Joe, I was talking to Miles last night about D-cannons for Eldar. They have the same thing, right? Like if you have a support weapon for an Eldar, you're never going to take the scatter laser. The D-cannon is always like 10 times better. Desolation Marines, yeah, good point. I have 10 Desolation Marines. They got nerfed absolutely to oblivion, and that's what happened. Units get nerfed to oblivion and forgotten about. That's the thing that annoys me the most. So you buy the unit when it's good, it gets nerfed once, and Desolation Marines actually got 3 nerfs. 3 patches in a row they got nerfed. I think Aggressors have had 3 nerfs at them now. Maybe it's even 4. So they get nerfed, they get nerfed, they get nerfed, they get nerfed, to the point where they are completely unusable. And then they're just left. They're completely unusable, completely forgotten about. And it's like, hey, by the way, I'm here. I spent my hard-earned money on this. The new Eldar models are beautiful. They are indeed, yes. I'm going to be using all the old Eldar models though. I'm not sure, like, I guess the thing with the Primaris Marines is going to happen to every faction. Every faction is going to get its models upscaled, and they're going to try and sell you new sculpts for everything that you already own. I'm not sure I'm in love with that. Greetings, Urandos, how you doing? I hate Desolation Marines. I just think that they just needed better. They probably didn't need indirect fire. They could have probably just had they could have been like a Devastator squad, right? Missiles plus like fragment. They probably just, I mean, I don't think anyone really liked how the Devastator Marines looked. I mean, I think that was part of the problem, right? Like, people thought that their guns looked kind of goofy. But maybe they should have just been missile launcher guys. Maybe they didn't need to have, like, the second type of missiles or the indirect you know, like, maybe they could have just had missile launchers and they would have been more... They could have been more, but... I don't know. I don't know. Desolation Marines seem like a weird one. What'll probably happen is, like, Desolation Marines will get a rejig for next edition, and they might be able to come back. So if you bought Desolation Marines and you painted them, I bought 10 and I was painting them. I think I had mine all battle ready. So if you bought 10 and you were painting them, they might come back next edition. I mean, that's what happened to Aggressors, right? Aggressors were, like, completely useless in 9th. They came out in 8th. They were quite good in 8th. I used Aggressors quite a lot for Blood Angels in 8th. And then they never got played in 9th at all. Like, I can't remember why they were bad in 9th, but they just were. And then they came back for a bit in 10th. Until they, like I said, I think they've taken 4 nerfs now on that Aggressor type. I think 3 times the Aggressor's points went up. 1 time or 2 times the enhancement that made them good went up. Honestly, I don't even know where. I've lost track. They just keep getting nerfed. And the Flamer version of the Aggressors are just standing around getting nerfed over and over and over, whereas where I feel like the Flamer versions were never that good. Which is a little bit sad, because the Flamer versions were, you know, they weren't the problem that Gladius Aggressors were, I guess, right? Nerfs are always a cycle. Yeah, they really are, aren't they? Do people let you use Firstborn as Primaris in tournaments? Yes, 100%. As long as they're on the right-sized bases, Jay, you shouldn't have a problem unless you were going to maybe like an official Games Workshop event. If you're just rocking up at like your local store for a local event, nobody cares that you're using Firstborn models to represent Primaris. And I guess with with all the Eldar stuff getting refreshed, I think it'll be exactly the same. So you'll be able to use all the old metal models of Eldar at your local store. No one will care. Maybe if you go to the Games Workshop store or a Games Workshop event, they will care because their prerogative is to sell you more models or sell you the new models. But I think for the most part, if you're just rocking up to do your own thing at a small event, you shouldn't have any problem. Salamanders still use them. What, the Flamer Aggressors? I mean, maybe. I can't imagine they're that good. I haven't seen any Salamanders lists, bar like one, in the last 6 months. And I think there's more people than one in the local area that play Salamanders, so is it just... I don't know if Firestorm Detachment ever really has been that strong, is it? Good day. Is it worth to replace my 5 scout squad with an apothecary with Gift of Foresight to lead my 2 Tice 5-man assault intercessors embarked in my impulsors? If you're wanting to lead assault intercessors inside impulsors, you want to lead them with captains, man. 100%. The captain just does way more damage than like anything else that can lead them. And he gives them the option of free stratagems too. So, the apothecary can like let you bring a dead model back to life. I mean, it's not the worst rule in the world, but I think it's much more impactful to have the captain. Because I think the captain just kills lots of stuff. And I think killing a lot of stuff is going to be worth a lot more than bringing one model back to life. And assault intercessors aren't that survivable. I mean, it's easy for an opponent to wipe out a whole squad of assault intercessors in one turn. You know, it's just 10 wounds on a 3-up save. It's not like they're not going to be able to do that. Most people can. I was going to say, I was playing Death Guard the other night. They can pretty much do that in Overwatch. You know, like, so it's not like your assault intercessors are a particularly durable unit and bringing one. It might be different if it was like Terminators and you're bringing a Terminator back every time, but not assault intercessors. They're not durable at all. So I would lead it with captain, dude. Doesn't have to be that Blood Angels captain. It can just be a regular Space Marine captain. Give him a power fist. And hit something in the face really hard, because that's what they do. Went to GW the first time last week and they let me use my 30k Predator in a 40k game. Well, there you go. Sometimes even GW don't care about using the older models. Give me 1 second. I want to grab the previous Dreadnought I painted to see how I do the feet. Because I like my stuff to match. I've got a box here. Just a box full of Redemptor Dreadnoughts. It's like cold storage for the Redemptor Dreadnoughts while until they get good rules. Alright, so I painted that bit metal. Painted that bit metal. Painted those bits in the feet metal. Well, I painted all that stuff in there metal, okay. I'm just gonna copy it. I like to copy my schemes within reason. It's been a while since I painted these when they first came out, I guess. Oh, and I painted all the sarcophagus metal. Okay, so I've got shitload of grey paint to put underneath. Okay, easy. Also did a red. I magnetized this one actually. Yeah, I guess all this underside stuff is just metal. Nice and simple. Okay. Some people write down how they painted stuff. Look at what I did before, I guess. So all that's going metal, okay. Remind me to thank YouTube for not alerting me to the stream. What you need to do on YouTube is, like, you see underneath the channel, there's the little bell notification. You need to click that bell notification, dude, and change it from... by default, I think the notifications will be set to personal. You need to change it to all. If notifications is set to personal, then what that means is YouTube decides whether or not to show it to you. I don't really understand why they call it personal, because you would think personal would mean like I personalized my notifications. No, personal just means like they've got an algorithm on you and they think they know what you're interested in. So click the little bell under the YouTube video and change it to all, and then you should get notified for all streams or all videos. If you leave it on personal, then I don't know really why it's called personal, because it's not personal, it's just the algorithm decides. So that's why I always sometimes say on like some of my weekly videos, if you do have a second, change it to all, because otherwise you won't get notified. Good evening, Remnant of Chaos. How are you doing? I'm so used to streaming in the evening, it's like afternoon here in the UK, so... how many points am I up to? Dude, I'm down. I was up to like 14,000 painted points. But I honestly I lost like 10,000 painted... Like, if we're talking about models that are valid, you know, like I didn't quite have 30 Sangre Guard, but I was on like 28 Sangre Guard. So like, technically all my Sangre Guard at the moment are Firstborn, so like, what have I got painted for Primaris Sangre Guard? Nothing. I don't even have one painted. I've made one. So I was up at like 14,000 points of fully painted stuff. I mean, I still have all those points, they're just crap loads of them with the Firstborn. So yeah, if anything, my overall army composition has... The amount of models that I have that are totally valid for play has gone down. But like, you know what, I've been selling stuff, because before I had kids I collected a lot of board games, collected a lot of RPGs. I just sold my 2nd edition Blood Bowl from like I think it was like 94 or 92, it was ancient. So I think the Primaris changes just showed me that I don't have time for all these other games. So I've been selling some of them, and I've been buying like buying my kids some clothes, and saving some of the money I've been getting from selling them. So I'm selling old board games, I guess. YouTube's like, you subscribe to this creator and you like comment on his videos, you must not be interested. Yeah, I mean, the YouTube algorithm is fucking Skynet or something, right? I've been doing YouTube for like 4 years, and I cannot figure it out for the life of me. So, I guess... I sort of sometimes know that if a video will do well or if it won't do well before I make it, but so I mean, I guess like this week's Deathwatch video, like I sort of knew it wouldn't do well, because I guess my audience doesn't necessarily overly care about Deathwatch, and I've done videos about Imperial agents and stuff like that in the past. They haven't done all that well, so I kind of knew it wasn't going to do as well as some of the other stuff that I've done, but like a lot of people requested it. So I made the video, but then what's funny is like the algorithm probably won't end up suggesting it. So someone in Discord will have been like, "Hey John, could you discuss including Deathwatch in your Blood Angels list, because I think a Deathwatch kill team could be pretty interesting. So I've made the video because someone asked for it, and the YouTube algorithm probably will end up not showing it to them because it thinks they're not interested. So go figure. That's the know-it-all algorithm for you, right? Do I own Blood Angels tactical squads, the outer print squad? I've got half of like a Blood Angels tactical squads left on sprue. And I did use, like, I did have one, and I was building some of the models. I think I converted some of them into like company heroes and company veterans. I didn't actually make a tactical squad out of it because I don't think tactical squads have, in my opinion, they haven't been competitive for like a decade, maybe longer. So I didn't actually build a tactical squad, but I know the kit you're talking about, Nathan. It's a cool kit, and when it comes up, it sells really, really. Like, people play like 3-4 times the RRP of that tactical squad because it's so rare now. It's a little bit sad. If you read base Firstborn, can you play them competitively? I mean, like I said, every tournament I go to will not have a problem with it. If you go to Games Workshop, like if you go to Warhammer World with Firstborn models, you probably shouldn't. They probably wouldn't love that. They might let you play, as long as they're all official Games Workshop models, but my understanding is that you should be using the correct models if you go to a Games Workshop event. But I mean, I don't go to Games Workshop events, so I'm not the judge and jury on that. I'm probably not the best person to ask. Yeah, I stacked some of my Firstborn on the new base size to make them a little bit taller, to make them to hopefully match the Primaris height a little bit. I think that's the correct thing to do, says Blood Buffalo is sharing. I've heard of people going to Games Workshop events with 3D printed stuff, and they'd been okay, but I mean, I think it's risky. Matthew, I messaged you on Patreon last night, I think. I think I messaged you on YouTube as well, saying check your Patreon DMs, dude. So please check your Patreon's DM at some point today, because I'm sure I messaged you. If you don't have the message, reach out to me on Discord, but I'm sure I replied to try and get some more information from you. But good morning, how you doing? Oh, I got a long way to go in this Dreadnought. I'm just slapping on base colours at the moment. The other one that I did though, like I really, like, this is the Redemptor I did in Death Company, and I know technically you cannot have a Death Company Redemptor Dreadnought, but I painted 2 red ones, and I think this might be the wrong thing. I think it's boring to like just paint the same model 3 times in 3 different colour schemes, or 3 of the same colour schemes. So I made this, and obviously this one had a crap load of edge highlighting, and you guys know how much I despise edge highlighting. I only tend to do it on black models. But I was really pleased with how this one turned out. So I think that's what we're aiming for with this one. We're just going to copy just the color scheme basically. Yeah, no, someone in Discord said that they'd gone to a GW event and they'd had like a few 3D printed models. Maybe it was like 3D printed jetpacks, or maybe it was like 3D printed storm shields. Maybe nobody noticed, and maybe they tried to not draw too much attention to them. That's probably what I would do. But like I said, I don't really attend GW events. I'd like to. I'd like to attend more events in the future. It just comes down to my kids are still very young. I can't really get away very often. And even if I could get away very often, I don't know if I can afford it. I'm trying to take the kids to Disneyland, and holy god, that's expensive, you know? Mark keeps asking me to buy more Star Wars cards, and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to take the kids to Disneyland, Mark. I'll buy more Star Wars cards when, once we've got that all squared away. Might put some basing element on this Dreadnought today as well, just because I feel like when they've got something on their base, they're then quote unquote battle ready, I guess. Oh, Matthew
Box
very
donated
generous. You don't need to do that.
$49.99 via Super Chat. I very much enjoy your content and insight. Thanks for your time and efforts.
I was gonna say, check your damn Patreon messages, Matthew. Please do it today. I'll check later and get back to you. Thanks very much for the 40, dude. That's very, very generous. I appreciate it. Arathian is going to print some Crimson Lord jump packs. They look great, and I was disappointed by the new Death Company sprues. Did you see the conversion video that I made, like, with the Crimson Lord Sangre Guard, dude? Because I think the Crimson Lord parts work really well on Sangre Guard. I'm really happy with them. I've made two, like, a jump captain and a Sangre Guard with the 3D printed wings and the Crimson Lord helmet, and like I think I used Crimson Lord shoulder pads on one of them as well. The guy that made Crimson Lords did really, really well, and he's going to help me do this next charity raffle, because we're talking about it. I need to actually reach out to the chat. We've picked a charity. It's going to be a US based charity this time. The last one was like a UK based charity, so I need to reach out to the charity and make sure they're all right with it. And I think I'm going to have like way more prizes. I think I've already got 6 or 8 prizes, and the guy from Crimson Lords is going to provide a couple more, so I'm probably going to have like 10 prizes in the next charity raffle. So it'll be the biggest one that I've done yet, so that'll be super exciting. And 10 prizes feels really meaningful, I think. You can cheat the insurance? The insurance for what? Going to Disneyland? I think I get free insurance with my bank account for my whole family, so I don't know if I need to cheat it.
Oliver Wyplater donated €10 via Super Chat. Hello John, I'm looking for a competitive 2000p list I can play at my next TTS tournament on GW layout. It should have a low number of datasheets so I can remember. What would you take?
I was going to say a low number of datasheets so I can remember. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I was going to say, I can tell you what my next list is. Oliver, thanks so much for the €10. I do really appreciate it. Do you play all? Do you like to play the all melee list, or do you like to have fire support? I mean, that's the main question I need you to answer, right? Because like I think there is two distinct ways of playing Blood Angels at the moment. You either go hard on melee, like there is no fire. When I say fire support, I mean anything that's got a long range gun. So like you have no Predators, you have no Vindicator tanks, you have no Ballistus Dreadnoughts. You just go and lean 100% into melee, and I think you can do that. I think sometimes though when you do that you will encounter armies that may be pretty anti-melee, and that can be tough, and in some situations I actually don't know how you deal with that, because if you fight like an army that's got a bunch of fight first models, it can be very, very tough to deal with. The way we used to get around that is we used to be able to use fight on death and just charge them and then fight on death, but we don't have that anymore. So you need to tell me what you're doing. Next time, yeah, well, you know what, the new charity stream, it's not a stream, the new charity giveaway is planned for, probably it's going to be January. So I need to, because the last one last year was February, so I think we'll do it at the start of the year. And we're gonna do like 10 prizes. We'll ship them worldwide, and we're gonna pick a US charity. It's not the Children's Miracle Network, Matthew. I'm not actually familiar with that charity. If you want to link me it, because I am gonna probably do a charity stream every year. But I think my plan is, well, I don't think, I know. My plan is I don't want to go to like a giant conglomerate charity. I want to do like, like small non-profits where I feel like the money is more useful than just going into like a giant corporation. I don't know what you call that, but like they're going in. If the money's going into a giant corporation, then I would much rather, like the charity that I did in the UK was a much smaller charity, like just basically a single children's hospital. So as soon as it's ready to go, I'll post about it. But yeah, I think it's going to be January. I think that's going to make the most sense for me. And there's a bunch of admin I need to sort out before anyway, because I have to figure out how to get the money to them in America. Hey, BL Gilmore, how you doing? Oliver says combined sounds good. Cool. Let me speak to Oliver for a second then. If it's TTS, Oliver, you don't necessarily care what models you're using. Like if you got the 4 vehicles. Yeah, I was going to say like the 4 vehicles I would assume that are good or the best for Blood Angels are Vindicator tanks, Gladiator tanks, Redemptor Dreadnoughts, or Predator tanks. When we talk about Gladiators, we probably talk about Lancers. When we talk about Vindicators, there's no choice there. When we talk about Predators, we probably talk about Destructors. And when we talk about Ballistus Dreadnoughts, again, there's no choice. So you want to spend like 300-400 points on that stuff. You can do it with like a double Vindicator. You can do it with a couple of Predator tanks and a couple of Ballistus Dreadnoughts, or a variant of both, or you can try and keep it as cheap as you want and do a couple of Lancers. I think the absolute bare minimum is a single Lancer and a Ballistus Dreadnought. I wouldn't put just 290 points. So basically, the minimum I'm saying is try not to spend less than 300 points on fire support. Doing it in January might fit the amount from Christmas. Well, we won't do it like the 1st of January, dude. We can do it a little bit later in January. And it's only £1 an entry. You know, there's like 20,000 people on the channel. If everybody would... Well, it's not even £1, it's $1, sorry. If everyone entered for $1, then the charity would get 20,000. So it'll be huge. So in the last charity raffle, I think someone honestly bought 100 tickets as well, because you're allowed to buy as many tickets as you want. Can't remember who it was. I mean, I guess I must admit I didn't pay 100% attention to the names of people who were buying tickets. But there was somebody definitely bought like 100 tickets. So if we get like 10 people buy 100 tickets, you know, then that's because there's going to be 10 prizes. So if we're only selling 1,000 tickets, your chance of winning are pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to use the website I used last time. It's like called Raffle. It's spelt weird. It's like RAFFALL or RAFFELL. I just need to contact them to get them to add the charity that I want to pay out to, and they take care of all the ticket sales and everything. But yeah, I do need to contact them because the charity I want to support isn't listed there yet. It's a shame charity is needed in this day and age. It is, isn't it? Fucking capitalism, man. Yeah. That's the world these days. You got people like Mr. Musk and his hundreds and hundreds of billions. Why do people need that so much money? Mary's just trying out the Blood Angels Combat Patrol this evening. Sorry, so Oliver, you know what, let me answer Watch Captain's question real quick, because it's like a very quick question. Is a chaplain plus 10 Terminators... Oh, sorry. Thoughts on running 10 Terminators with a chaplain and librarian and lag. So you can only run Terminators or a... Sorry, you can only run the chaplain or librarian. You can't run both. My thought is if you're going offensive with the unit, as in you will be the one making charges, then the librarian is better. Because the librarian can combo with red rampage to get +1 to wound and lethal hits, and he has sustained 1. And then, you know, like sustained 1 with +1 to wound and lethal hits is kind of crazy. But if you are the one being charged, if your Terminators are getting charged, then the chaplain is better, because the librarian doesn't get the +1 to wound when you're charged. He still does sustained 1 when you're charged, but when you're charged, you're missing a bunch of strength, right? Like, you don't have the +2 strength from your charge, so I think the +1 to wound becomes a lot more impactful when you are charged. And the Terminators, the 10-man squad, can be led by the fight first chaplain. So I think if you're doing fight first with a chaplain with 10 Terminators, and you're dropping them down in the middle of the board and expecting to be charged, that is the way to go. So librarian if you're going offensive. If you're going to play defensively, chaplain, yes. I think both. I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world to have the librarian and be a bit defensive. Like, it's still good. It's just I think the chaplain is probably slightly better if you're being defensive. And the chaplain has a slightly better buff as well, right? In terms of, like, he gives them a 4-up against mortal wounds, whereas the librarian just gives them a 4-up against psychic attacks. But I mean, I think librarians or the chaplains are the best choice to lead those Terminators. I wouldn't lead Terminators with a captain. I think the chaplain or the librarian is better. Urandos, thanks so much for coming in, Battle Brother. Alright, Oliver. So you need to pick... At the moment, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing double Ballistus Dreadnought and a single Predator Destructor. But if we go back a few months, I was doing 2 Destructors and a Ballistus Dreadnought. All those combos cost 390 points. My next list, I think, is going to be 1 Ballistus Dreadnought, 1 Predator Destructor, and 1 Gladiator Lancer, 420 points. So, see you, Neman, thanks for hanging out. So 400 points on fire support. That is 3 different data sheets. So if you're trying to keep it simple, there could be an argument to just say, just take 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. So the cheapest you can do, 390 points. I think the Terminator Captain is better. Well, the maths tells you otherwise, Mikey. But I mean, the captain maybe saves you a CP, but the librarian and the chaplain will always out-damage the captain. Then I think you want a squad of infiltrators to hold your backfield, and then I think you need like 2 or 3 squads of jump intercessors. Then you probably want Dante plus the Sangre Guard. So I need a bit of paper to put this all down on real quick, because I'm trying to remember this all in my head. Just put this here. Let me see if I can just switch over 1 sec. So you want like 3 times jump assault intercessors. It's like 270 points. 3 times ballistas. That's 390 points. You want 1 times infiltrators for holding your backfield. That's 100 points. You want Dante plus 6 SG. I believe that's 400 right on the nose. So what does that give you so far? 500, 770 plus 400 is 1160. What else do you need? I really like impulsors at the moment. I also like small units in Death Company as a possibility. A lot of people are doing 10 Death Company. Plus like Astrath or Lamartes. Both are okay. So you could do 10 DC plus a leader. That's an option. You could do impulsors times 2. You probably want some more scoring units, so you need some scouts or outriders. If you do have the impulsor, that counts as well. But then, based on like this 1,000 points, like this is a very solid 1,000 points. You're only looking at like 5 data sheets. The trick after that is, morning Antonius, is my brain's failing me. I think the trick after that is you need damage units. You need units that can do damage. So that's why some people take Death Company. That's why some people take Blade Guard. And that's why some people take that captain with the assault intercessors inside impulsors. So you get to choose which of those 3 you need. But you need at least 2 of them. Arguably you need all 3 of them. So it's like, you could add the Death Company plus the leader. You know, that's another 340 points to put you at 1,500. You could add an impulsor with the captain, with the assault intercessors, that's like 240. You could do that twice if you're trying to lower your data sheets. And I think you'd already be at like 1980 points. So you would add like that rage-fueled warrior to one of those captains. But that would probably be the way to have the least data sheets. So you're talking like 8 data sheets. I do not have a tournament winning list at the moment that I can give you. Because I haven't won a tournament since the new codex come out. I'm at the point where I'm iterating on my list. It's more versatile. I don't know if it is more versatile. And like I mean, I guess if you think it's more versatile, Mikey, cool. I honestly think the chaplain is the best choice. Because +1 to wound for free. That's what you've got to remember. When you get charged, and you, like, your Terminators are going to get charged. You're going to be putting them, like, way far forward in an obnoxious position, or in an aggressive position, and the chances of them not getting charged are pretty slim. And when they get charged, you don't need to spend any CP on them, which is huge, right? Because there's times in the game where you just don't have CP. So you just don't need to worry about the Terminators. The Terminators are a big block of units. They've got that chaplain attached. You don't need to worry about it. And then just do a lot of damage. Because they've got that +1 to wound. Oliver, if you've got any questions, please ask them. I hope that gave you some interesting what captain is best to lead the Blade Guard veterans? I think there's only one choice. I think if the captain wants to lead the Blade Guard veterans, he has to have the Storm Shield and the Mastercrafted Sword. I'm not sure he's allowed any other weapon options. The Blood Angels captain with Infernal Pistol cannot actually lead Blade Guard. It's one of these weird restrictions that we have. But yeah, so the list that I want to run on Wednesday, because I've been tweaking my list, and I think basically where I am is I'm not in love with the Death Company since they changed their rules. Or they didn't change the rules, they took away all their weapon options, they took away all their power fists and stuff. And I think without them, it feels like the Death Company are way less impactful than they were before. I've played Liberator Assault Group five times and I've won 4, but I still don't like the Death Company. So my next list is going to go double Impulsor. One Impulsor is going to be Blade Guard. One Impulsor is probably going to be that captain, or the rage fueled captain. So I'll have like first Blade Guard and one Impulsor. I'll have a rage fueled captain and the other one. I feel like with the changes to Death Company, those units will do just as much, if not more, damage than the Death Company. And then they'll be more survivable because they'll be inside an Impulsor, and the Impulsor will also score me points afterwards because it'll just sit on objectives and do actions and that sort of good stuff. Cousin Space Wolf player. Yeah, I think when the Space Wolves get their codex, I imagine they're going to get... I was going to say they're going to get neutered. That's actually, that word actually works because they're like, people call them puppies sometimes. Yeah, I think when Space Wolves get their codex, I would be very surprised if they don't lose a lot of Firstborn units. I mean, everybody's losing their Firstborn stuff. It's done. If you don't think it's done, you're in denial, I feel like. So, yeah, as a Space Wolf player, you want your codex sooner or later because you know that you're just going to lose access to all your unique stuff. I wonder if they'll let them keep some of their named Dreadnoughts, but I really have no idea. I think they will lose quite a lot though. That's just the beast that is 10th edition Warhammer. Yeah, no problem, Oliver. Thanks so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Watch Captain. Did I answer your question okay? Have you got any more questions about Terminators? Hey Sellers, good evening, afternoon, however. Mark Manson said I just painted 10 Death Company with Astaroth. Dude, I'm painting Death Company. I've got them literally on the shelf above me. I just thought I would take a little break from them and paint these Ballistus Dreadnoughts. There's been a lot of people that have done well, right? There's been a lot of tournament lists that have done well with 20 Death Company Marines. Like, we actually saw a bunch of them. I covered them like 2 weeks ago on the channel. A bunch of people won tournaments with 20 Death Company Marines, like 10 led by Astrath, 10 led by Lamartez. It was actually much higher than I expected it to be. So people like, here's the thing, like I used to like my Death Company in 5s. Like, I like to keep them small so they're not vulnerable from blast. I like to hide them. I like to use them as like a surgical strike. Maybe they just aren't that anymore. Like, maybe the way you run the Death Company now is 10s. And to be fair, the 4 games I have won in Liberator Assault Group, I did run them as 10s with Astrath. All 4 games was 10 Death Company with Astrath. It's only since I changed them to 5 to try out the 5 that I've decided to drop some more of them. But hey, I'm not perfect, and everybody's meta is different. So, you know, like I said, I haven't won anything since the Codex came out, and other people have been winning stuff with 20 Terminator, 20 Death Company. So maybe, you know, don't get beat up that I'm dropping them. I play Blood Angels, you know, like I have my own style. I play my own way. I try and play a bit more. I maybe play more defensively than a lot of people. So maybe it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't mean you cannot feel Death Company. It just, just haven't been. I guess maybe, like I said, maybe it's just a 5-man Death Company. Like 5-man is not an option. Or is not a good option as it was before. Like 5-man before with the Chaplain was super good. And 5-man with the Chaplain actually got cheaper. So I thought it would still be viable, but I just don't like it. John, you're a slave to maths. Yeah, probably. I feel like knowing all the maths does help me, though. It removes me making stupid decisions. Would that be the best way to say it? Like, I don't make stupid decisions because I genuinely know the maths. But yeah, it does mean that I'd probably never do, like, YOLO moves where I'm like, yeah, I got this, you know, like... I'll never do like a move that's bad, that's statistically bad mathematically, which yes, maybe I am a slave to the maths. Maybe I just need to let the Black Rage take over me on the battlefield. Hey, we've all got our own, you know what, I do love the new Astrath model as well. I think somebody won a tournament, maybe they didn't win the tournament, but I think there was one really good tournament performance with 12 Sangre Guard in it. So I haven't run the 12. I don't know if I fancy it. I kind of feel like Sangre Guard need Red Rampage. So that's kind of why I don't fancy running the second squad, because I feel like I'll be using Red Rampage on the first squad and the second squad won't be able to get it. But a couple of people have done well with that, with the 2 squads of Sangre Guard. So maybe that's a good possibility right now. Never tell me the odds. Yeah, maybe it's that. No, I think double. I said when the Codex came out that I thought the double Impulsor, maybe even a triple Impulsor, would be like a super strong way to play Blood Angels. So I'm gonna go to double Impulsor. I do have a third Impulsor in its box. So I'm not sure I'm in a rush to go 3 Impulsors, but it might be something you see from me before too long. We'll see, I guess. Howdy, Grain of Truth, how you doing? Have you seen Happy Crumping's WTC report? Forgot the dude's name. He's running Blood Angels with loads of tanks. Was it an Iron Storm list? I did see a Blood Angels Iron Storm list this week that did very well.
Matthew Box donated $20 via Super Chat. Message checked and responded. It's Xmas time and you need hobby funds, brother. Thank you, BA.
Thank you, Matthew, dude. That's very generous. I'll get back to you after the stream sometime this evening. Do you get a notification then when I PM you in Discord? Not Discord, Patreon, or it doesn't actually notify you? I don't know how that works. Thanks so much for the super, dude. That's like super number 5 to the stream. That's awesome, guys. Thank you very much. It's a pity the Death Company Dreadnought is so bad. I think paint your Death Company Dreadnought Blood Angels color, or paint them Death Company colors, and then just play them as a Ballistus Dreadnought. No, not Ballistus, a Brutalis. I hate how they name units with starting letters too often. It's like infiltrators, incursors, inceptors, intercessors. Like there's too many units that begin with I. Like, and with the Dreadnoughts, why couldn't they have different starting letters? Confuses the crap out of me. I always get it wrong. There's just too many units these days. Well, they're doing it. It's like all the Primaris units. All the Primaris units start with the same damn letters. How many units begin with I? Intercessors, infiltrators, incursors, inceptors. Is there another one? There's surely another one. I felt like there was at least... I felt like there was more than 4 with I. I felt like there was a lot of I's. Hello, Brandon. How are we doing? I'm doing great. You? Phil says, I feel the Death Company almost need the 10 man. All the chainswords, extra wounds, so you still have all your power fists and eviscerators once you get to the target. I think you're probably right, Phil. So I think maybe if I went back to the list that I was running that had 10 Death Company with Astrath, might be better than trying to run the 2 5s. I actually thought the 5 was okay. Like, I thought it was okay, it just wasn't a I kill anything like I used to type thing. And my current list doesn't have the Rage Captain, because I just couldn't fit it in. So, and I do really want to run the Rage Captain, because I did have that captain in my list for the tournament that I won, and I think... I actually just really love the captain with the company heroes. I think he's super durable, and I just really love him. So I think for the list that I'm going to build for this Wednesday, I'm going to drop 5 Death Company, and I'm going to drop 1 unit of Outriders. So I'll go down to 1 unit of Outriders, but I'll have 2 Impulsors now, and I'm going to have 1 Impulsor with the Fight First Blade Guard, and I'm going to have 1 Impulsor with the Company Heroes Rage Fueled Captain. And I think what that will give me is like, the Company Heroes are stupidly durable. So I'll have like 2 really durable Impulsors with inside it 2 really durable units. 1 with all Storm Shields, 1 with all Fight First nonsense. And the other with the Rage Fueled Captain. And I think that will be better. Like, I think the Rage Fueled Captain plus the Company Heroes will just do the same amount of damage as the Death Company anyway, and I think they're going to be a lot more durable. And I think they're just going to be a lot more annoying for my opponent to deal with. And then once they're doing their thing, there's going to be an Impulsor there that's just going to get to park on an objective and score me points, or do sabotage, or behind enemy lines, or whatever the hell I need an Impulsor to do, you know? I really like Impulsors. It is an early one tonight, Eternal Crusader. I'm not going to be live later this evening. My mum has my kids today, so I have a bit of peace this afternoon, which is nice. It's not often that I get peace on a weekend. So trying to take the most of it, get some stuff painted, you know? The Dreadnought looks awesome, dude. Thanks. I got lots to do on these Dreadnoughts. I do like the new Redemptor. I don't actually know what to call these Dreadnoughts, so I just call them the Redemptor chassis Dreadnoughts. Like, they're the same size as the Redemptor. The Redemptor was the first one, so I call them Redemptor chassis. And I have always enjoyed painting these Redemptor chassis Dreadnoughts. I do like how they look on the battlefield. Their bases are a little bit unwieldy, they're a little bit big, but I like them a lot more than the box knots. Like, I guess the box knots for me didn't age so well, whereas like these just feel imposing. It's a real bummer that half our codex is Death Company and Death Company are underwhelming. So I think Death Company are good if you run them 10 with Lamartas or Astroth. I'm not convinced running 5 with a Chaplain is good anymore. I guess I'm kind of okay if you run 10 of them with a Chaplain as well. I just think they probably work best 10 with a jump pack would be fair. Would that be fair to say? So I guess if you don't want to run Death Company in 10s with a jump pack, then yes, our codex feels ugh, because all the rest of the Death Company options are not great. And they are like half the codex, yes. It's not like Games Workshop have a big Blood Angels channel they could have reached out to for any suggestions or opinions, right? That's not something that's available. I am not bitter, huh? Eugene, what you on about? Infernus Marines. Infernus what? How do you use Infernus Marines? I have 20 of them on sprues. I was this close to selling them just because I'm like, why do I need these Infernus? I think if I sell them, they'll become good. But honestly, what red have I got on this Dread? Which one? The one that's finished or the one that I'm working on? It's just Mephiston Red, dude. I mean, if anything, it needs more coats of Mephiston Red because you can see the black through it. Oh, the other detachment. I have no idea. I only found out about the detachment in this stream. What do you guys want? What detachment do you guys want? Flamers with no AP are never going to be good. Yeah, that's kind of where I landed on that detachment. Sorry, not the detachment. Like, I honestly think if they gave the Infernus Marines one AP, they might be okay. Like, that's all they need, but they just don't. I don't get it. Like, look at those Death Shroud Terminators. Their flamers were an absolute joke, but you give them that 1 AP from their contagion, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, that's a lot of flamer shots with 1 AP. When it's no AP, it just... Because I guess there's unit... Like, if they shoot your Sangre Guard with, like, 50 flamers, but it's no AP, you're like, yeah, okay, you're going to kill a Sangre Guard. But if you shoot your Sangre Guard with 50 flamers and it's 1 AP, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to be making some fails on that many shots, haven't I? I don't know. I would like... I generally hate it when they release units that are bad. Because... And it doesn't affect me all that much, right? Because I have plenty of other units I can field, but if you're a new player, and you turn up to the tabletop with your 10 Infernus Marines that you just got and you just painted, and they're absolutely tragic, because they will be, because, like I just said, I think AP0 is trash, then you don't have a good experience, and yes, you just wasted your time, essentially, painting 10 Infernus Marines to go put them on a shelf for 6 months. Well, it'll be until next... I can't... Infernus Marines will not be good this edition, right? Like, their rules are out for this edition. They generally don't make rule changes like that. They could lower their points cost. I don't think I care. I'm still not taking them. So I think just generally, Infernus Marines are done for this edition. They're just trash. That's why I'm like, I should sell them. Just, I imagine in 10th edition, someone will get a loot, or sorry, it'll be 11th edition now. Somebody will look at them and go, yeah, nobody plays these, they're absolutely trash, maybe we need to make a change to them. So maybe at the start of 11th edition, something will change with them. But, I mean, if nothing does, then maybe that would be the time to sell them. 1000 Subs Works Flamers have been good since 8th edition, all because of the AP. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'd honestly be okay with 1 AP. I don't even think they have AP in the Firestorm detachment, right? Do they have is there a strat in the Firestorm detachment that can give them AP? I must admit, I have not played the Firestorm detachment since it came out, but I don't remember there being a strat that let me add AP to Flamers. I think there's one that adds strength to the Flamers. I don't think it adds AP, does it? They release bad units, complain about bloat, and then axe good units. Yeah, I do think you're kind of right there, Andoni. That's always the justification for removing units. There's too much bloat, but here, let us add Desolation Marines that no one plays. Let us add Reavers that no one plays. Let us add Suppressors that no one plays. Let us add Hellfire... What the fuck is that? Hammerfall Bunkers that no one plays. Let us add Fire Strike Servo Turrets that no one plays. How many Primaris units are absolute gash? Like, it's at least 10. Like, maybe it's not, maybe 10's exaggeration, but I feel like it just listed 6. There's got to be another couple in there. They're just absolute gash that nobody plays. And it's not like other chapters play them either, because I play against Ultramarines, I played against Dark Angels on my streams, I've played against Space Wolves. I've played against Iron Storm, and no one's running any of that shit. Suppressors are awesome. They're just 40 points too expensive. I actually do want to try and figure out how to try some suppressors. Like, I think that they could be meaningful. Maybe. I do actually want to figure out a way to fit them in. I feel like when I'm trying to fit in suppressors, there's something else that's always more important to what I'm trying to do, and then the suppressors just get cut. Sternguard? Do you know what? Sternguard are a little bit better now. I don't hate the Sternguard as much as I hate a bunch of those other options. Sorry, there was a big message from someone here on Twitch. What did he say? Gather round, ye sons of Sanguinius, although your Primarch lie interned, you still fight on his name. For this, your duty to the Imperium of Man. Know this, ye blood angels, you have and you are doing your Primarch proud. Now go forth and slaughter in his name. Doskry, thank you so much for watching. I don't think we've met before. I appreciate it. I'm the Wandering Chaplain of Twitch. Well, welcome, Wandering Chaplain of Twitch. Thanks for checking out the stream. Do appreciate it. I don't think we've met before. Always nice to see new faces, even on Twitch. Because the live battles are here every Wednesday night, or most Wednesday nights, maybe not every Wednesday night, and we do always include some chaplains. There's the one guy in the chat that loves Reavers. Yes, we know him. His name is Cambo. I think he should actually just change his name to Cambo here. I love Reavers. I actually don't know if Cambo is serious about his love for Reavers, because I don't think he actually has them in his army list. I think he's determined to get me to put them into a list. I think Reavers have the same problem that the Infernus Marines have. They have no EP. I don't see how you use them. Some people have been saying you can use them because they've got a little bit of precision and you can try and be sneaky with the little 1 point of precision that they've got. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it's quirky. Maybe there's a little play there with their 1 point of precision, but yeah. I'm just trying to take units that I think are always good, as opposed to like, this unit can do this one quirky thing that might be good. Right? That's kind of how I look at it. It's okay to have a favorite unit as well. Like if you really love Reavers and you want to play Reavers, by all means. I just don't know if I feel the same way about them. Well, I definitely don't feel the same way about them. is the way to put it, I guess. I think they are indeed a bit quirky. I'm convinced they're going to remove fortifications. I don't really know what the point of them is, I must admit. I really don't. If they could hold an objective, maybe there's a point to them. So Dokri's 763 goes to all the Warhammer streams and acts like a chaplain. Cool, man. You do you, man. More power to you. God, there's so much piping and crap on the back of these Dreadnoughts. I just want them to be sort of similar. So that bit's red. I'm going to put silver all the way under there, okay. And then silver on the feet on this one as well. Yeah, and then silver all in there. Okay. Okay, just trying to copy these other Dreadnoughts so that they look similar. Nobody plays heavy intercessors. Do you know what? I did take them to one tournament at the start of the edition. I took them to the tournament when we still had our Dreadnought that could teleport units around, and I just basically tried to teleport heavy intercessors into an obnoxious position, like take a side field objective right at the start of the game. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I think heavy intercessors maybe get some play in... Oh, you've upset Mr. Dokries from Twitch. I was going to say, I think heavy intercessors get some play in the Anvil detachment, which is indeed Imperial Fists. I guess we just don't see too many people playing the Anvil detachment. But I guess if you're running a Gravis heavy list, it's not the worst idea in the world. We just don't see it. Like I said, I don't know if that detachment has been very competitive this last year or so. I don't think it has been. So possibly you just haven't seen them much because that detachment hasn't been super competitive. But I do think you take them in. I do think you take them in that, or if you're trying to build like out a Gravis list, you maybe take them in that as well. And they do have some they do have decent, like if you compare them to like, you know, like regular intercessors, for example, being like 80 points, 10 wounds, toughness 4. They are 5 more wounds, they are 2 more toughness for only like 15 more points. Like at 95 points, I think, because I think when I was playing heavy intercessors, I want to say they were 100. I thought they were fine at 100. Just maybe the detachment that they're in isn't super great. I played them as Blood Angels, and I thought they were honestly fine at 100. I actually thought they were kind of... Because I always prioritise units that have a lot of survivability, right? Because I always feel like if my unit survives, then it usually means it's scored points, or it's done an action, or it's stayed alive on an objective, something like that. So having played the Heavy Intercessors at 100 points, I kind of thought they were fine. So I think at 95 is where they are now. I think, like, they're a Primaris unit that I don't think is necessarily too bad. Anvil is for Imperial Fists holding out their Chapter Master getting a new model. You're holding out hope, sorry. Okay. Yeah, didn't they Legends one of the Imperial Fist characters? They need a friggin' melee weapon. A lot of the Primaris units need a friggin' melee weapon. I mean, that's kind of more of a design decision with Primaris units, where the shooting units, like, you know, the Sergeant no longer gets a melee weapon. Which is a bit weird, because Space Marines always were kind of like that chapter that could do both things, or the faction that could do both things. And do you know what? Sternguard got their melee weapon. So, like, a lot of people didn't realise this, but they went back in the Codex and they changed Sternguard, because Sternguard originally couldn't have a melee weapon. And now you can give the Sergeant of the Sternguard a Power Fist. Like, that is a thing that changed. It obviously didn't change for anything else, like Outriders, Eradicators, like a lot of things didn't get changed. I've just been painting grey now this entire stream. How long have I been live? Like an hour and a half, and what's even worse about just painting grey for an hour and a half is it's not even the final coat, it's just a base coat, man. How depressing, huh? We'll get there. I actually don't know how many hours it takes me to do one of these Dreadnoughts, but I feel like it takes a while. Have you ever run scouts in 10-man squads? No, I don't think I have ever wanted to either. What would be the point? I mean, scouts generally are not a squad that kill shit. They score actions, and because they score actions, you want them to have the smallest profile on the board they can have, right? Does anyone play Van Vets anymore? I think some people are still playing Van Vets. I mean, I think they lost a lot when they lost their ability to do the attach the priest and get the 5-up feel no pain. I think a lot of people stepped away from them at that point. Like, I think they were very popular in competitive circles before that change, which is really strange. It's like, so why? I don't even know if I feel like, because I wasn't running Van Vets with a priest, I don't even know if I feel like they were that amazing. I mean, their survivability was good, but they were only 1 damage, and they were only AP 1 without the priest. And they are, yeah, like I said, they're only 1 damage. We got lethals? I don't know. I haven't seen many people running Van Vets, I must admit, since the new codex. I want scouts. Yeah, I mean, a 5-man unit of scouts is totally solid. If I had more like, I don't have them in my current list, but I have run scouts all edition. I just can't fit them right now. I do think 5-man scout units are very good. I just don't know if I need the 10. And I think if you're doing, yeah, I don't see the strength in the 10. If you're doing the 5-man scout squad, you just give one guy a missile launcher and get everyone else with a knife. I think that's what you. I think. Well, the sergeant gets a chainsword. So you give your scouts a little bit of melee prowess, I guess. I think that's how I would run them, or that is how I run them, I guess. Our scouts firstborn are Primaris. They recently became Primaris, but as of right now, the only way you can get the Primaris models are inside a kill team box, I believe. So you have to buy the kill team box. If you are doing scouts, I might suggest that you proxy something else. I bought a Necromunda kit, and I bought a box of Tempest Scions and made some of my own scouts, just because the firstborn ones were very dated when I did it, and I didn't like them. So I just made my own, basically. But, yeah, the scouts are, they're only available in a kill team box, I believe. Just for more survivability? No, I think with scouts, you want to keep their profile as small as possible. You want to hide them from your opponent, keep them small, make it difficult for your opponent to find them, essentially. I don't think you want them as a 10 ever. Someone says that you get scouts from the 3D printer and it goes brrrr. Yeah, I don't know why they do that, and I feel like the second they don't sell something, people just print it nowadays. I think the Crimson Lords is a great example of that, right? Like, the Crimson Lord campaign did like I checked it the other week, it was at like $150,000. So, like, because Games Workshop didn't sell Sangre Guard wings, and they didn't sell different helmets and shoulder pads for the Sangre Guard, they let some third party make 150 grand, which is a crazy amount of money. Arguably, I think arguably Games Workshop would have made even more, right? Because I feel like there'll be a fall off in terms of like people going from like the official place through to like a third-party 3D printed website, I think there'll be a fall-off there. A good example is like I'm almost at like 19,000 subscribers on YouTube. I was trying to get to 1,000 likes on my Facebook page, and it like every time I post about it, I post about it to all 19,000 YouTube subscribers, I get like a handful of likes at best. Like, it's super hard to move people across. So like it would have been hard for the Crimson Lord guy to get everybody to come across, essentially. But they made 150,000. Jim's Workshop left a ton of money on the table. Yeah, you're right, Arathian. I don't really know why. Like, it was obvious the community liked the wings. It was obvious that people didn't like the upgrade sprue. Like, there was a petition about people not liking the upgrade sprue. There was, everybody on Reddit were like saying, email Games Workshop, tell them you don't like it. You know, like, there was a lot of people trying to like reach out and make their voices heard. I certainly made my voice heard as best I can. You have paid the lack. What is it? I was gonna say we're gonna do the Emperor quote. Sellers. The lack of vision. Do you know what? I need to Google it. What would Emperor Star Wars vision quote? What did he say? Now you will pay the price for your lack of vision. Yeah, I need to practice my Emperor voice. That would be a good one. That would be a good thing to practice, just so when you're playing on the stream, every time your opponent makes a mistake, you just do the Emperor voice to them. You've paid for your lack of vision. Now you paid the price for your lack of vision. I was going to say, I haven't watched Return of the Jedi in a while. So, are we running 3 foot captains with assault intercessors from a drop pod? Probably not. Impulsors are the way to do it, Francesco. And I think impulsors are just really cheap and really useful units right now. I think this week I'm going to play 2 impulsors for the first time. But I think I might be trying to build that as like a stable core for my Blood Angels. Like, we are like my list is going to start revolving around a double impulsor. And I think, like I said, there's so many good units. I think there's 4 good combos you can put inside an impulsor for Blood Angels. I'd be actually curious to see if someone, like, I can't run it because I don't have 6 impulsors. In fact, I don't know anyone that's got 6. But I'd be curious to see actually how a list with 6 impulsors would do. Because you could just essentially use those 6 impulsors. They're your scoring units. You know, they're your behind enemy lines units. They are your action monkeys. They don't really kill anything. They just have, like, what? It's like you get 7 strength 4 hits if you're within 12 inches. It goes up to like 14 strength 4. They just got a couple of bolters and a stubber, you know? But I think like transport heavy. And the fact is, you know what, if you did run 6 impulsors, you could actually put 6 captains. So you could have 6 of the finest hour captains and 6 of the assault intercessor squads. I don't know how well, and then Dante, and then maybe a couple of units of scouts. That's the whole list. I've started using my infiltrators to stop rapid ingress on the flanks. And it's a massive effect against armies thinking of running the second 5-man. The null zone is huge in 10th edition. I think it's good, you know, maybe I need to consider running the second squad of infiltrators. They are very useful. You're probably right that you know, being able to stop people's rapid ingress, if you know, certain armies are going to expect it, or certain armies are not expecting it. Certain armies are planned around rapid ingress, right? In some ways I plan my Blood Angels army around rapid ingress. Taking 6 captains. I mean, you can put 6 captains inside one impulsor, dude. 6 captains Mephiston inside an impulsor. Someone in the YouTube comments was like, when are we seeing the 6 captain impulsor? I think they called it tactical nuke. When were we seeing the 6 captain tactical nuke impulsor on the channel? Six finest hours? I mean, what could that not kill, I guess is the question. I think it would kill anything. Rage Captain, Blade Guard, Company Heroes. What's the 4th one? I mean, I think you can do the Rage Captain with Assault Intercessors. You do the Company Heroes with Assault Intercessors. You can do the Blade Guard with a character. And then I think some people are doing a second squad of Blade Guards. I think the 3 units that you've got there really are the Company Heroes, the Assault Intercessors, and the Blade Guard. I think any combination of those potentially inside the impulsors pretty good. I need to take a pee, guys. I'll be right back. One sec. Everyone hide, go for it. Call it the Hornet's Nest. Yeah, it would be. 6 captains are a repulsor executioner. Yeah, but the executioner is a fucking bullet magnet, dude. That's I tried to make the repulsor work again, and it's just such a bullet magnet. Like it never. Repulsors, Land Raider, Redeemers, it's like, if they survive turn 1, then things are generally good, but the amount of times they do not survive turn 1 makes them so difficult to play. Your opponents just light them up. They're hard to hide as well. I think that's the difference. Like an impulsor is easy to hide behind terrain. Repulsors are they're just too big. You just can't hide it. Like even a small piece of terrain, you can usually obscure an impulsor. The music's just from White Bat Audio. Just check his YouTube channel out. It's massive. I just listen to this stuff all the time. It's royalty free, which is really nice. No magnets on your base. No magnets on the base. For what? Like magnetizing it into a tray or something? These are the easy to build ballistic dreadnoughts from the Indomitus box. I bought a repulsor recently. My opponent has no anti-tank guns. Oh, well, sure, then you're good, dude. In every other game where your opponent has anti-tank, it's a fucking bullet magnet. I'd love to... I did really want the repulsor to work, because I really liked the fact that Dante plus the Sangre Guard fit inside it now. I felt like it was really good for getting Dante and the Sangre Guard across the board, like, completely protected, but just in reality it doesn't work, because everything can see it and everything will shoot it. And then when you're playing against knights or something, they just blow it up turn one. Malik says, just finished a game with my 1500, with my Blood Angels guys, a 1500 game against my friend with his Death Guard, and he had 3 units of Death Shroud, 2 units of 6, and a unit of 3 with characters. It was tough. I lost miserably. Those flamers, Malik, are ridiculous, right? They just kill way too much. I played Death Guard on stream this week, dude, and I got beat as well. The Death Shroud are so good into, like, their anti-infantry is just so fucking strong, basically. If I really like Predator Destructors into Death Guard. But yeah, their anti-infantry is just, it's obnoxiously strong. The flamers are obnoxiously strong. It's generally just a very hard matchup. I wouldn't feel too bad about losing against it. Hey, the main thing to do if you've lost against it is to try and learn. Like what happened? What are you not going to do next game? That sort of thing. Because a few months ago, I played against a Death Guard list like that, and I charged the Death Guard with a unit of Death Company. I charged into the Death Shroud, and I lost the entire unit on the Overwatch. It's like he killed all 10 Death Company with the Overwatch because he just gets so many flamers, and they have AP1 or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, right, I can never charge these guys again unless I'm charging from an obscured position, because that was ridiculous. So try and learn something, Malik. Like I said, that Death Guard match is hard. I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. Just learn, because you're going to run into it again. Death Shroud came down in points. They're super meta right now. Every Death Guard player is probably going to be running a bunch of Death Shroud. I'd be surprised if they're not. So see if you can take away some good learnings from the game. Can I trade the new detachment in December to make GW let us take new plastic Horus Heresy tanks again? I'd take that trade, Chrono's saying, but I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not the voice of. I'm not the voice of fun, I guess. Thou shall not have fun with your Horus Heresy tanks in 40k. I don't know. Sometimes you can find tournaments that allow legends. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Thoughts on the new Eldar? I mean, they look nice. I don't know if I haven't seen any rules yet. I thought that the new Krieg unit shown yesterday looked fucking awesome. If you know, in a land where I did not have to go to the day job for 40 odd hours a week, I would collect those Kriegs in a heartbeat. I thought the new horses and the commander on the horse looked awesome. I don't know what it is. Is it just the gas masks or something? But there's something about those new Krieg models, I just thought that I was like, this just... The gas masks like that were like World War One, right? And because they didn't really use horses in World War Two, if I'm correct. Because I guess I think that horseback combat was pretty much done by World War Two. So they're like, I guess they've just got like a really nasty, grim World War One vibe. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I just thought they looked cool. Assault Terminators are greater than Death Shroud. I think you probably lose a bunch of, like, statistically, if you try and charge the Death Shroud with Assault Terminators, you will lose an absolute crap ton of them. Because statistically they get, how many flamer shots? There's 6 of them, plus the character. So that'd be 20... 21 plus the character. So statistically they get like 24 shots. Auto hits, and they wound 75% of the time. So your Terminators need to take like 17 saves at AP1. Sure, your Terminators save on 3s, but you're still gonna 17 at AP1. You probably lose 2 Assault Terminators when you charge those Death Shroud from the Flamers. Yeah, I mean, like, you definitely lose 1. Maybe with a little bit of luck you only lose 1, but you definitely... There's a good chance you lose 2, I feel like. The Krieg are based on World War I trench warfare. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It reminded me, I saw that video... not that video. I saw that movie about J.R.R. Tolkien, you know, when he was writing Lord of the Rings. And he wrote a bunch of Lord of the Rings with like the ideas that he took from that trench warfare. And if you've not seen the movie, I forget what the movie's called, but it's basically about the life of J.R.R. Tolkien, the guy that wrote Lord of the Rings. And I feel like there's a scene in that where there's like a fire and a horseback rider with a gas mask, and it's very iconic. I can't remember the name of the movie. Someone will know the name of the movie. I watched it ages ago. It was good though. But yeah, he took a lot of inspiration from all the horrors that he saw in the war for writing Lord of the Rings, I guess. Which I never knew, I think, before I'd seen that movie, actually. I wonder what we think of Hellblasters into melee spam infantry guard lists. I feel like Hellblasters probably do not get enough shots to deal with infantry guard lists. Because infantry guard lists is like 200 guardsmen. I don't know if Space Marines are really equipped to deal with 200 guardsmen at the moment. And the guardsmen will kill you back pretty effectively as well, because like every squad of 10 guys has like 2 melta guns and 2 plasma guns and good stuff like that.
Oliver Whiteplatter donated €5 via Super Chat. Hi, me again. What about Chap, Speed, Captain, Rage, Dante, 1x5 Assault Int, 2x Impulsor, 3x5 JPI, 3x Ballistus, 1x6.
Yeah, I guess my bot gave up reading. Maybe the thing was too long. 1 times Blade Guard, 1 times 6 Sanguinary Guard, 2 times Vindicators. How many points is that, Oliver? It looks good, though. Like, the Captain with Speed, with the Blade Guard, inside an Impulsor, that's good. The Captain with Rage, with Assault Intercessors inside Impulsor, that's good. 3 times unit Jump Intercessor gives you lots of scoring options. 3 times units of Ballistus gives you good long-range fire support. Dante the Sandguard, probably start them in reserve and use them as like a missile from reserve or a tactical insurgent. I guess the question is the 2 Vindicator tanks at the end. 2 Vindicator tanks are good. Vindicator tanks are good for Blood Angels. They're probably one of the best tanks, you've maybe gone a little bit too shooting there. So, like, I think to get the most out of, if you're running Liberator Assault Group, to get the most out of Blood Angels unit detachment, army rule detachment, you want like 1200 points of melee units. Now, it's not wrong to take Vindicator tanks, it's not wrong to take Ballistus Dreadnoughts. In fact, it's good to take both. Just maybe what I would probably say is, like, rather than have 5 vehicles, like the 3 Ballistus and the 2 Vindicators, I would keep 3. Any combo of the 3, you choose the combo you keep. And then the 2 that you drop, replace that with another high damaging melee unit. Because Blood Angels get the most out of the detachment from melee stuff, right? So be it, if you can fit that 10 Death Company, cool. If you can, you know, like I was running Centurions, that could be an option. Terminators, we could have 5 Terminators with a Chaplain, that would be good. You definitely could drop, I would drop 2 of those vehicles and put in a unit that can do melee damage. Right, then I think you're all set. And if you've got any points left over, throw in a unit of Scouts. $30 Infernus Marines and 30 Reavers versus 200 Guard. Okay, yeah, do you know what? We finally found a use for Reavers and Infernus Marines. They come up in the one matchup where we have to play against 200 Guardsmen. Then they're good. For every other matchup, they're trash. Good point, well made, Matthew. But, I mean, can we take them for that one bad matchup? The Gladiator Reaper always makes its way into my list for infantry hordes. I think the Gladiator Reaper is amazing in the Iron Storm detachment. I think it's for me, I feel like it's a little bit lackluster in the Blood Angels detachments. Which is a little sad because I have a Reaper and I think it's a cool model, but I just think it's a little bit lackluster for the Blood Angels detachment. What are my thoughts on Vanguard veterans with jump packs, Captain, now that Death Company got nerfed? They all have Infernal Pistols, they have built-in lethals, they have Deep Strike, the Captain gives them free stratagem, +1 strength. I mean, they're just AP1 is probably what I don't like about them, Stuart. I think the AP bonus from the Priest was pretty meaningful, and the loss of that hurts them quite a lot. 10 Infernal Pistols to me is honestly not that attractive. Because I usually find with Infernal Pistols, you usually end up missing a few, then you fail to wound a few, and then they save a few, and then at the end of the day you did like 2 damage. Like, the loss of the 10 Infernal Pistols, yes, it sucks, but I never felt like those Infernal Pistols were as meaningful. Like, I felt like you always failed to wound a few times with Infernal Pistols, you always failed to hit a few times with them. By removing it down to like 1 Infernal Pistol, I think it's kind of garbage, but yeah, I don't know if I feel like the Vanguard Veterans Infernal Pistols. And then you're giving up survivability as well. 110 points for the Vanguard Vets at the moment. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can get them to work. I guess just for me, I'm not really sold on Van Vets at the moment. Maybe I'll come back to them. Maybe I'll give them a try. But they're not the highest thing on my priority list now. Or right now, I guess. I'm not in love with them. Jonathan's been edge highlighting like the Martyrs for an hour, so I feel your pain. Oh, well, I'm glad someone else feels the pain. Yeah, I've got a lot to do still in these Dreadnoughts. Like, I've been base coating grey paint for I'm basically live 2 hours at this point. So I'll only be live for maybe like another 10-15 minutes. I'll need to go make dinner for my kids and stuff like that. So yeah, if you do get 2 seconds during the stream, if you can press the like button, it does always help me out. I do appreciate it. Lose 1 Ballistus Dreadnought, lose 1 Vindicator, run the Death Company, jump pack with Lamartis and 10. Yeah, I mean, that's a good choice. Stuart, thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, I think that would be a good choice for you, Oliver. You could do Astaroth as well. I don't think he's a bad choice either. Astaroth or Lamartes is fine. Tom says, hey John, I'm going to try a repulsor with 6 aggressors and flame gauntlets with a Gravis captain and 2 impulsors, one with Blade Guard and Judas, the other with the captain and rage and 5 intercessors. I mean, I think that's totally fine. I think the aggressors are a little bit expensive, the flamer version. I mean, I think it's totally fine. I think good luck, Tom. I think that'll work. I think it'll be okay. If I took Terminators, would I bother with a Chain Fist? You know, I saw someone do that recently where they did, I think they won a tournament with it, right? And normally I would have just, like, if you asked me like 3 months ago, I would have said, I'll just do all Power Fists. But since the guy won the tournament with it, he did like 3 Power Fists and 2 Chain Fists, and I'm kind of like, do you know what, maybe that's a good way of doing it, like mostly Power Fists, but a couple of Chain Fists in there for when you do inevitably fight knights or something, just so that you've got like a good excuse me, a good reliable way to wound those big nasty models, right? What about aggressors for Blood Angels? They're okay. I think they're, like I said, I think they're a little bit costly, aggressors right now. Aggressors for Overwatch? Yeah, I mean, they're fine. The Flamers are better, I guess, if you're going to be doing Overwatch. I just think the aggressors are a little bit costly. They were 100 points for 3. I thought they were really good at 100 points for 3. Benjamin built his with a couple of Chain Fists. I built my Terminators years ago, so actually a bunch of mine just have Chain Fists because that was what you used to always build them with. And the Chain Fist used to be AP4, so it used to be like a no-brainer to equip them with a Chain Fist. So yeah, I think Chain Fists are fine. I don't know if I would go and put the whole squad worth of Chain Fists. But if you do have a couple of Chain Fists in the squad, then it does mean if you start taking casualties, and you can then decide, you're like, oh, this is a game I need Chain Fists, so I'll take casualties on my Power Fists. Or if it's a game where you don't need the Chain Fists, you just need the Power Fist, then that was the good thing about, like, I suppose that's a good thing about like the new Death Company, is you take the casualties on the models you need the most, you need the least, excuse me. So you always take casualties on the, you take your casualties to benefit what's happening in the battle or what you need in the battle, right? I think a Land Raider Redeemer is cheaper than a Repulsor with 6 aggressors though. And the Redeemer can still carry a lot. The Redeemer is another unit that's like a giant bullet magnet though. Like, I find the Redeemer very hard to play because I was playing one, and it just takes so much. It's so hard to hide a Land Raider because it's so big, and then if you play against like an army that's got like a lot of ranged firepower, they just put so much hurt on it. And like I said, I think it goes one of 2 ways. It's like either that Land Raider survives turn 1 and does really well throughout the entire game, or it dies in turn 1. And it felt like when I was doing it, more often than not, it would just die in turn 1, and then I've paid 270 points for something that just did nothing and died. And I think since then they've put it up like 15 points to 285, right? Or maybe it was 265 and it's gone up 20, I don't quite remember. But yeah, in general, a Redeemer can be amazing, but it is also a giant bullet magnet. So you just have to be able to play around that. Yeah, it's 285 now. Yeah, I think at 285 for me it's too expensive. I guess the problem at 265 was some armies were running too many of them. I did play against Grey Knights one time and they ran 3 of them and it was horrific. Because Grey Knights are already very good at killing infantry, and like that much anti-flamer on top of what they already could do against infantry, it was like my Blood Angels army that was a horrible game. Not that my opponent was horrible, my opponent was quite nice, but like everything, it was just like so much damage all the time. Ugh. Any other questions at the moment? No? I think I've answered anything. If anyone had a question in the stream that I didn't answer, now's the time, pop it in. Yeah, I'm heading off in like 5 minutes, so last chance, or we'll be back tomorrow night at, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 PM to look at community submitted lists. We do that every Sunday night here on the channel. We're usually live for somewhere like a 90 minutes, sometimes a little bit long. I was going to say sometimes a little bit shorter. I probably aim for like 75 minutes on those Sunday streams. Sometimes they've been running over because a lot of people have been submitting lists with the new rules and stuff. So probably normally aim for like 75 minutes every Sunday. It'll probably be 90 again tomorrow. I think it's been 90 the last few weeks because we've been trying to cover a lot of lists submitted. Mikey's thinking of 1 Gladiator Lancer, 1 Ballistus, and 1 Vindicator. For the Vindicators are just too good to miss out on. You know what? My next list, Mikey, I'm thinking 1 Gladiator, 1 Ballistus, 1 Predator Destructor. But yeah, I think there's definitely a combo in there that, like, I haven't figured out quite the combo that I like the most yet, but there's definitely a combo there with a variant of those tanks that is going to be very useful, and probably will, like, once I figure the combo out, that'll be what I'm taking to the next GT I go to. I have paid for my next GT, like I'm going to GT in January, so I guess it's only, I was going to say, I've only got a little bit of time. January will be here before you know it, so I've only got a few months to figure out my next list and get it ready. I'm excited though, I really enjoyed the last one. I felt like Blood Angels did really well for me, so I think as well, having won my first tournament, a lot of the pressure of trying to win every event will be gone as well, so I'm looking forward for just, you know, like I've been pressurizing myself to try and win a GT for like 5 years, maybe longer. So it'd be really nice to go to a GT where, like, yeah, maybe I am pressuring myself to do well, but if I don't win it, I don't need to kick my own ass, or I don't need to come back on the channel and be like, oh, I lost again. So that'll be nice. So that's a big positive for me anyway. Best place to put your list. As soon as this stream finishes, just pop your list in the comments. Or on any YouTube video, really. Just please don't post it multiple times. Because I get a notification. Tom, thanks so much for coming over. I get a notification every single time someone posts a comment. And when you've got like 20,000 people on your channel, I get a lot of notifications. So like, don't, if you post it once, I will 100% get to it. I might not get to it the very first week you post it, right? There's a bit of a queue for list submissions. Quite a lot of people do post submissions, just don't post it multiple times. Is all I'm asking. I'll get to it 100%. So any of my YouTube videos, just post it in the comment section. Just say, like, this is a list for review when you get a chance, please. Thanks so much for becoming a member, Todd. Anyone that did become a member or got gifted sub this stream, we do have a members only Discord. If you type !Discord, the bot will give you the Discord link, and you can get over into the members only room. I do try and make myself available in there, like most days I would say I'm in the members only Discord. The only time I'm not really in the members only Discord for a day is if like something is going on in real life and I'm very busy. Okay, I think we'll take that as... So I just realised we could swap the arms around. Never even thought of that. There we go, look at that. Oh, cool. We got options. The yin and yang Dreadnought. Man, I just... 2 hours base coating Dawnstone. Jesus. Jesus. I think we're almost there with the base coat. We'll actually start getting some colours on it now. Do you know what? These last kind of arms need a bit more base coat. Well, we're getting there. Is Rageful Captain with a power sword viable, or is the power fist a necessity? I would say he's a lot better with a 2 damage weapon, David. So I would get to converting to give yourself... you don't have to do... Like, I ran him on the Chaplain this week. I just think you want a 2 damage weapon. You're bursting... Like, if it's the Mastercrafted power sword that the Captain has, that's AP 2 and 2 damage, then maybe it's okay. But I definitely wouldn't run him on a 1 damage weapon. I think you're just giving up 50% damage for no real reason by putting on a 1 damage weapon, yeah? Does that make sense? You're welcome, Mike. No problem. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the stream, please leave a like. I'll be here tomorrow night. It's 5:30 just now, so 2.5 hours plus 24. That's when we'll be live again. So 26.5 from now. And we'll be talking army lists for like 90 minutes. Submit your lists if you want to get on the show at some point. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Hope you have a great Saturday. Hope you enjoy your evening. Thanks very much for hanging out. Thanks very much for all the supers, the memberships. It is super appreciated, guys. Thank you very, very much. Alright, you all having a great afternoon, great evening, wherever you may be. If you didn't watch if you didn't watch the Deathwatch video from yesterday, because apparently a lot of people didn't, you should check it out. The Deathwatch kill team is somewhat interesting for Blood Angels. It really is. I don't have a Deathwatch team converted, but I think at some point after I'm done with all this Impulsor madness, I might take a move to have a Deathwatch kill team. So yeah, check out the Deathwatch video as well, guys. Have a great afternoon. Peace.